So in this video lesson, we're going to have a look at the different parts of a circuit and how we actually draw circuit diagrams. So an electric circuit shows the flow of electricity. Okay. And there are some main parts that every circuit is going to require. So every electric circuit requires a power source. And this is usually a battery, but could be any other type of power source. Every circuit is going to require a load of some kind. So this is something that uses electricity. Most electric circuits are going to require a switch. And so this is so that you can turn the electricity on and off. And then we also need wire to connect the different parts of the electric circuit to each other. Okay. So when we're drawing circuits, there are specific symbols that we use to represent different parts of a circuit. So a battery is symbolized using cells. So this is what the picture looks like. So the one on the top here is a 1-cell battery, and then the one on the bottom here is going to be a 3-cell battery. And so a battery or a cell is going to consist of a long vertical line, which is going to be the positive end of the battery, and then a short vertical line, which is going to be the negative end. And we can put multiple cells together. And how many cells we have is going to depend on the strength of the battery. So the larger the battery, the more cells it's included. Okay, so we're using this to represent our power source or our battery. Okay, and this is essentially where the electricity comes from. Okay, so where the electricity comes from. If we are trying to show a switch, so there are two ways that we can show a switch. So this is going to be an open switch. And then we can also show when the switch is closed. And so it's going to connect in between those two dots. So this will be a closed switch. So an open switch is not going to allow electricity to flow through it. Okay, and then a closed switch is going to be able to allow electricity to flow through it. So a closed switch is considered to be the on position, and an open switch is in the off position. Okay, so that's a switch. We also can have different loads. And so there's a bunch of options for loads. So we can have, this first one is a light bulb. So that's what a light bulb is going to look like. We could have a clock. So this is the symbol for a clock. We could have a motor. So that's the symbol for a motor. We could have a resistor. So this is our symbol for a resistor. And electrical loads are things that are going to use electricity in the circuit. So electricity is going to flow through them, and the light bulb or the clock or the motor or the resistor is going to use up some of the electricity. We sometimes can have meters that are going to measure certain things in our circuit. So if we have an A, this one is called an ammeter. And if we have a V, this one is called a voltmeter. So the ammeter measures amps, and the voltmeter measures volts. And we're going to talk more about those in a little bit. Okay, so the ammeter is going to measure our amps, and then the voltmeter is going to measure volts. When we're looking at connecting wire is just symbolized with straight lines. Okay, so when we want to put or draw a circuit diagram, so we're going to do an example here. So we'll have a circuit with a 3-cell battery, a light bulb, a closed switch, and a resistor. Okay, so we're going to draw our 3-cell battery. This is the positive side, this is the negative side, and we use straight lines to draw our circuit diagrams. So we're going to use a straight line. We can change direction, but we can only go at 90 degrees. So we're going to have a closed switch. So that will be our closed switch. And then we're going to have a light bulb. So we'll put our light bulb in there. And then we're also going to have a resistor. So we'll have our resistor there, and then we go back to our battery. So circuits have to be closed loops, but we draw them with straight lines. Okay, so if you want to change direction, you can change direction, but you want to change direction at 90 degrees. Okay, so this is our open switch. Oh, sorry, that's a closed switch. We said we wanted a closed switch. So our closed switch, we have our light bulb, we have our resistor over here, and then we have our 3-cell battery. Okay, so electricity flows through the circuit, okay? And when we're looking at conventional current, so conventional current, it's actually the flow of positive charges through the circuit. And so that's going to come from the positive end of the battery back to the negative end of the battery. Okay, so this is going to be conventional current. So always going to flow from the positive end of the battery back into the negative end of the battery. And so that will be the direction of the conventional current. Okay, so those are the different parts of a circuit, and that's how we draw our circuit diagrams. So you now have some practice to be doing in terms of drawing circuit diagrams and labeling different parts of a circuit diagram.